Pope Francis, the first Latin American pope. In a historic moment for the Vatican, Jorge Mario Bergoglio became the first Latin American pope, Pope Francis. He also became the first Jesuit priest to lead the Catholic Church. Born on December 17, 1936, in the Flores neighborhood of Buenos Aires, Argentina, Pope Francis is of Italian descent. His parents, Mario José Bergoglio and Regina Maria Severi, had 5 children, Jorge being the eldest. His father worked for the railway. Due to political unrest under Mussolini's regime in Italy, both sides of his family migrated to Argentina in the late 1920s. Education in Buenos Aires. Jorge pursued his education in Buenos Aires, earning a diploma in chemical technology. He initially worked in the food section of a lab. He mastered the regional dialect of Portocomoro, his family's ancestral hometown. He speaks Spanish and Italian fluently, is proficient in German and Latin, and also has knowledge of French, Portuguese, ancient Greek, and English. His spiritual journey. At the age of 21, Jorge suffered a severe bout of pneumonia, which led to the removal of part of his right lung. This life-threatening experience deeply impacted him and led him to choose a spiritual path. On March 11, 1958, he entered the Society of Jesus as a novice. Despite having romantic feelings for a young woman at the time, he decided to fully dedicate himself to religious life. He studied social sciences in Santiago, Chile, and became a full member of the order on March 12, 1960. He later studied psychology and literature and completed his postgraduate studies in chemistry from the University of Buenos Aires. Interestingly, during his student years, he worked as a bouncer in a bar. By 1967, he began formal spiritual studies and in 1969, he was ordained as a Catholic priest. From 1973 to 1979, he served as the provincial superior of the Jesuits in Argentina. In 1998, he became the Archbishop of Buenos Aires, and in 2001, Pope John Paul II elevated him to the rank of cardinal. Becoming the Pope in 2013. After Pope Benedict XVI resigned on February 28, 2013, Bergoglio was elected as the new pope on March 13 of the same year. He chose the name Pope Francis. At the time, he was 76 years old. Unlike his predecessors, he opted to live in a modest guest house instead of the official papal palace. Before becoming pope, he used public transportation and even cooked his own meals. The night before his election, he took a bus back to his hotel. The next day, after his election, he visited a hospital to meet with patients. Champion of the people. Pope Francis is known for his compassion and reformist vision. He has advocated strongly for the inclusion of women in the Church, even creating societies run entirely by women evangelists. A humble servant. On his very first Holy Thursday as Pope, he washed and kissed the feet of 12 juvenile inmates, including 2 young women and non-Catholics, at a juvenile detention center in Rome. Every year, he continues to spend Holy Thursdays in jails, hospitals, retirement homes, and even slums. In a 2023 interview with a Mexican journalist, he revealed that he had already prepared his memorial symbol, which is kept outside the Vatican. Historic appointments. By February 2025, Pope Francis had appointed 110 out of 163 cardinals from 76 countries. Most of them are from developing or underprivileged nations, signaling his commitment to inclusivity. At the 50th G7 summit in Italy, Pope Francis made history again by attending and addressing global leaders. He expressed concern over the wars in Ukraine and Gaza. In 2019, he became the first pope to visit a Muslim country, the United Arab Emirates. He later visited Iraq and Indonesia, continuing his mission of interfaith harmony. A global presence. Pope Francis has a strong presence on social media, with 53.5 million followers on X, formerly Twitter, and 9.8 million on Instagram. His message of humility, service, and reform continues to inspire millions around the world. He showed acceptance toward the LGBTQ+ community and took a firm stance against sexual abuse in the Church, removing bishops who tried to cover it up. He has been a vocal critic of unchecked capitalism, consumerism, and environmental destruction. He consistently speaks out against the death penalty and pushes for its abolition by the Catholic Church. He opposes rigid fundamentalism and calls for a more compassionate, balanced approach to religion and society. Global diplomatic influence. Pope Francis played a key role in restoring diplomatic relations between the United States and Cuba. He initiated discussions with China regarding the appointment of bishops. He has spoken in support of refugees and urged Western nations to adopt more humane immigration policies. In 2022, He formally apologized to Canada's Indigenous communities for the cultural destruction they suffered. He also launched a major cleanup operation within the Vatican, fighting corruption, particularly in the Vatican Bank. He reorganized the Church's governance to reduce bureaucracy and promote transparency.